The massive asteroid field stretched endlessly before the Alliance survey ship Explorer *. Through the main viewport, James Miller watched chunks of space rock tumble slowly in the void. After 3 months of scanning lifeless rocks, his team was ready to declare this sector another dead end. "Sir, you might want to see this." Tom, the sensor operator, spoke up from his station. His voice held an unusual edge of excitement. Miller walked over, his boots making soft thuds on the metal deck. The sensor display showed an unusual reading, a perfectly straight line where there should be only random asteroid patterns. "Artificial structure?" Miller asked, leaning closer to the screen. "Too big for that, sir. Whatever it is, it's at least 5 kilometers long." Miller straightened up, his heart beating faster. "Take us in closer." Full sensor sweep. The Explorer glided between the asteroids, its advanced navigation systems keeping them safe from collision. As they rounded a particularly large rock, Miller's breath caught in his throat. There, partially hidden by the asteroid field, floated a massive starship. But it wasn't alone. "General quarters," Miller ordered, though he knew it wasn't necessary. The ships before them were clearly abandoned, their dark hulls covered in impact marks from countless years of drifting through the asteroid field. More scans revealed the true scale of their discovery. Over 50 capital ships floated in formation, preserved by the vacuum of space. Some were larger than anything in the current Alliance fleet. "Dating analysis coming in," Tom reported. "Sir, these ships are over 20,000 years old." Miller stared at the ancient vessels. Their design was unlike anything he'd seen before, angular and utilitarian, without the smooth curves and aesthetic touches common in modern ships. They looked primitive, almost crude. "Look at these weapon mounts," said Lisa, their military analyst. She pulled up detailed scans on the main screen. "Primitive chemical propulsion weapons, basic mass drivers. This fleet wouldn't stand a chance against even our smallest modern warship." Miller wasn't so sure. Something about the ship's design nagged at him. Why would anyone build such a massive fleet with such basic weapons? "Prepare a boarding team," he ordered. "I want to see these ships up close." Hours later, Miller floated through the cold, dark corridors of what appeared to be the fleet's flagship. Their suit lights illuminated walls covered in strange markings and writing unlike any known alien language. "Engineering team reports the power cores are completely cold." Lisa's voice came through the comm. "Whatever these ships were, they've been dead for millennia." Miller reached out and touched the wall. Despite the apparent age, the metal felt smooth, almost new. "Run a material analysis on the hull composition." "Already did, sir. It's just basic metallic alloys. Nothing special." "Honestly, sir, this is probably just some abandoned fleet from a long-dead civilization. We should mark it for the salvage teams and move on." Miller shook his head. "No, there's something more here. Look how well preserved everything is. And these ships, they're laid out too perfectly. This wasn't a fleet that was defeated in battle or abandoned in panic. Someone placed these ships here deliberately." "Sir," Tom's excited voice broke in, "we found what looks like a data core in the central computer room. It's unlike anything we've seen before." "Preserve everything," Miller ordered. "I want every inch of these ships documented, and get me a secure channel to Alliance Command. They need to see this." 2 days later, Miller stood before the holographic images of the Alliance Council, explaining their discovery. He watched their expressions shift from interest to dismissal as he described the fleet's apparently primitive technology. "Thank you for your thoroughness, Archaeologist Miller," Council Leader Reed said, his tone patronizing. "But we have more pressing matters than analyzing space junk. The Dominion's expansion is accelerating, and we need our resources focused on modern threats, not ancient history." "But sir, your report will be filed, and salvage rights assigned when convenient." "Dismissed." The connection cut off, leaving Miller alone in the communication room. He clenched his fists in frustration. They were missing something important. He was sure of it. Sir, Tom appeared at the door. The data core we found. It started giving off energy readings. Miller turned, a slight smile forming on his face. The council might not believe in his discovery, but he wasn't going to let it go. Not when every instinct told him these primitive ships held secrets that could change everything. "Show me," he said, following Tom back to the lab. Whatever mysteries this ancient fleet held, he was going to uncover them all. 3 weeks after discovering the ancient fleet, Miller sat in his cramped office aboard the Explorer *, surrounded by holographic displays showing data from the mysterious ships. The door chimed, interrupting his concentration. "Enter," he called out, not looking up from his work. Tom rushed in, his face pale. "Sir, you need to see the emergency broadcast." Miller turned to his main screen, where the Alliance Emergency Network logo flashed red. The image changed to show a devastated colony world. Burning cities filled the background as a reporter spoke urgently. "Third Alliance world to fall to Dominion forces this week. Their ships appear immune to our strongest weapons, while their technology easily penetrates our best shields." The camera panned to show massive black ships descending through the clouds. Their designs were sleek and organic, almost predatory. Energy beams lanced down, cutting through defensive installations like paper. "Turn it off," Miller said quietly. He'd seen enough. "Sir," Tom hesitated, "the Dominion fleet. Did you notice their weapon configurations?" Miller nodded slowly. He'd noticed it too. The way their ships moved, the strange energy signatures they gave off. They seemed oddly familiar. His computer chimed with an incoming priority message. Lisa's face appeared on the screen, her expression grim. "James, the military analysis team finished their preliminary report on the Dominion's technology. Well, you should see for yourself." Data streams filled Miller's screen. The Dominion's weapons operated on principles that Alliance scientists couldn't explain. Their shields used energy patterns that defied known physics. But to Miller, who'd spent weeks studying the ancient fleet's data cores, something clicked. "The patterns match," he whispered. "Tom, pull up scan Delta 7 of the ancient flagship's weapon mounts." The images appeared side by side. The primitive weapon housings from the derelict fleet and the Dominion's advanced weaponry. While they looked different on the surface, the underlying geometry was identical. "This can't be coincidence," Miller said, standing up. "The Dominion's supposedly advanced technology. They must have found something similar to our fleet. But they only understood enough to copy it, not its true principles." The ship's intercom crackled. "All hands, battle stations." Dominion vessels detected entering the system. Miller's heart raced. The asteroid field had hidden them so far, but it was only a matter of time before they were discovered. Through the viewport, he watched 3 Dominion cruisers emerge from faster-than-light travel. Their black hulls seemed to absorb the starlight, making them look like holes in space. "Status of the data core analysis?" Miller asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Tom checked his tablet. "Running at full speed, sir. We've only decoded about 15%. But..." The ship shuddered as proximity alarms blared. A Dominion scout had spotted them. "All hands, prepare for emergency jump," the captain's voice ordered over the intercom. "Wait." Miller grabbed his comm. "Captain, we can't leave the fleet. The Dominion can't find it." "We have no choice, Miller. Their weapons will tear us apart." Miller watched in horror as the Dominion ships approached. If they found the ancient fleet, all its secrets would fall into their hands. But there was something else, something in the data they'd already decoded. "Tom, the fleet's power cores. What did that last analysis show?" Tom pulled up the data. "Still cold, sir, but wait. There's a subharmonic reading we missed. It's like they're not dead, just sleeping." Miller's mind raced. The fleet wasn't abandoned. It was waiting. But waiting for what? The ship rocked again as the first Dominion warning shots passed nearby. "Sir," Tom said urgently, "the data core's energy readings just spiked." I think. I think it's reacting to the Dominion weapons. Through the viewport, Miller watched energy ripple across the ancient fleet's hull, so faint it was barely visible. The ships that had appeared dead and primitive were stirring, responding to some signal or program they didn't yet understand. "Captain," Miller called over the comm, his voice firm. "Belay that jump order. I need 10 more minutes. There's something happening here that could change everything." As if in response, the data core's alien symbols began pulsing with a soft, steady light. The next 10 minutes felt like hours. Miller watched as the ancient fleet's data core pulsed with increasingly bright light, its alien symbols shifting and changing. The Dominion ships drew closer, their weapons charged and ready. "Sir," Tom called out, his voice shaking with excitement. "The core, it's not just giving off energy. It's projecting data." The lad's holographic display suddenly filled with streams of information. The alien symbols began transforming, rearranging themselves into recognizable patterns. "This is impossible," Lisa whispered, staring at the screens. "These readings, they're in English." Miller rushed to the display. She was right. The mysterious alien text was changing into clear, readable English before their eyes. But what he read made his blood run cold. "Final log entry, Earth Defense Fleet Flagship *, Defiant *, he read aloud. "Admiral William Roberts commanding. If you're reading this, humanity's gamble paid off." The Dominion ships fired another warning shot, closer this time. The whole lab shook. "Keep reading," Miller ordered, grabbing onto his desk for support. The data streamed faster now, as if racing against time. The logs told an incredible story. These weren't alien ships at all. They were human vessels, built on Earth over 20,000 years ago. Humanity had faced an enemy much like the Dominion, a force that threatened to wipe them out completely. "Tom, put the next section on the main screen," Miller said urgently. The text appeared, larger now. "We couldn't beat them with brute force, so we tried something different. Our ships look primitive because they're meant to. The real technology is hidden beneath layers of disguise. Anyone scanning them would see what they expect to see: worthless relics." Another blast rocked the ship. The captain's voice came over the comm. "Miller, we're out of time. The Dominion ships are moving to firing positions." But Miller barely heard him. He was transfixed by the next section of text. "The weapons these ships carry don't just break the laws of physics, they rewrite them. We discovered principles of science so advanced they looked like magic, but we also discovered the danger of such power." Lisa pointed to another data stream. "Look at these schematics. The Dominion's weapons, they're using a crude copy of human technology, like cavemen finding a gun and making rough imitations without understanding how it really works." The ship shuddered again. Through the viewport, Miller watched the Dominion vessels split up, moving to surround them. "There's more," Tom said, his fingers flying over the controls. "Instructions for activating the fleet. The power cores aren't dead. They're in some kind of suspended animation mode." Miller read the final log entry, his heart pounding. "We hid our fleet knowing that someday another civilization would face the same threat we did. When that day comes, the fleet will awaken. But remember this warning. True power isn't about destruction. It's about understanding." "Sir," Tom shouted, "the Dominion ships are powering up their main weapons." Miller straightened up, his decision made. "Send these coordinates to all Alliance commands. Earth Defense Fleet discovered. Technology far beyond current understanding. Humans built it." The message sent just as the first Dominion blast struck their shields. Warning alarms blared throughout the ship. But something else was happening. The ancient fleet, dormant for 20 millennia, was stirring. Lights flickered along their hulls, and energy readings spiked off the charts. "They're not just waking up," Lisa said, checking her instruments. "They're adapting, like they're learning about the current threat in real time." Miller watched in awe as the first of the human ships began to move, Its seemingly primitive hull shimmered, the disguise falling away to reveal sleek, advanced surfaces underneath. Others followed, their true forms emerging like butterflies from cocoons. "Send one more message," Miller ordered. "The fleet awakens, and humanity's children have come home." As the Dominion ships charged their weapons for the killing blow, the ancient human fleet took up defensive positions around the Explorer. 20,000 years of waiting were over. The time had come to show the galaxy what humanity's true legacy looked like. The Alliance Council chamber erupted in chaos as Miller finished presenting his findings. The massive holographic displays showed the ancient fleet, now confirmed to be of human origin, alongside footage of its partial awakening that had driven off the Dominion attack. "Preposterous," shouted Council Leader Reed, the same man who had dismissed Miller's discovery weeks ago. "You expect us to believe that humans, a species lost to time, built warships more advanced than anything we have today?" Miller stood firm. "The evidence is undeniable. The Dominion's weapons are just poor copies of human technology. And now we have access to the originals." "Access is not the same as understanding," said Professor Wilson, the Alliance's lead scientist. He pointed to the technical readouts floating above the council table. "These systems operate on principles we can't even begin to comprehend." Another explosion rocked the station. Emergency lights flashed as another Dominion fleet attacked a nearby system. "We don't have time for debate," Miller argued. "Every day we waste, more Alliance worlds fall. The human fleet is awakening, but it needs crews. It needs people who can learn to use it." Admiral Parker, a gruff old veteran, stepped forward. "How long to get these ships operational?" "That's just it," Miller said, bringing up new data on the screens. "The ships are already operational. They're teaching us." He gestured to Tom, who activated a recorded simulation. It showed Alliance engineers entering one of the human vessels. As they approached different systems, holographic interfaces appeared, displaying instructions in clear, simple terms. "The ship's AI systems are adaptive," Miller explained. "They recognize our technology level and adjust their interfaces accordingly. It's like they were designed to be found and used by less advanced civilizations." "And you trust these AIs?" Reed asked skeptically. "For all we know, this could be a trap." Lisa stepped forward, her uniform bearing fresh Alliance engineering insignia. "Sir, with respect, we've already proven it's not. Watch this." She played footage from their first successful test. A small team had managed to power up one of the human destroyers. Its weapons, when tested against a simulator running Dominion shield configurations, had cut through them like they weren't even there. "The human ships don't just have better weapons," Lisa explained. "They understand space, time, and energy in ways we never imagined. The Dominion copied the basic principles, but without understanding the science behind them, they created pale imitations." Another alert sounded. The Dominion had taken 2 more systems. Admiral Parker turned to the council. "We don't have a choice. How long to crew the first ship?" 3 days, Miller answered. "Maybe less. The AI systems are surprisingly good teachers." "Make it 2 days," Parker ordered. "I want our best pilots and engineers." The chamber's main screen suddenly flashed red. A priority message appeared, showing a massive Dominion fleet approaching the Alliance capital. "They found us," Reed whispered, his former skepticism forgotten in the face of immediate threat. Miller stepped forward. "Give me 40 people and emergency authorization. I can have 1 human destroyer ready by tomorrow morning." The council chamber fell silent. Everyone knew what Miller was really asking. Taking an untested, ancient ship into battle was practically suicide. Finally, Admiral Parker spoke. "You'll have your crew, and I'm coming with you." "Sir," Miller started to protest, but the Admiral cut him off. "Son, if we're going to trust humanity's legacy, we need to show we're willing to risk everything for it." Just like they did. Over the next 20 hours, Miller watched in amazement as the human ship's AI guided them through its systems. What had seemed impossibly advanced began to make sense. The ship wasn't just teaching them to use it, it was teaching them to understand it. Energy systems at full power, Lisa reported, her hands moving confidently over controls that hadn't been touched in 20,000 years. The AI says we're ready. Miller looked around the bridge at his crew, a mix of scientists, engineers, and military personnel, all chosen for their ability to learn quickly. In just a few hours, they would face the Dominion's main fleet. "Send word to Alliance Command," he ordered. "Tell them, the first ship is ready. Humanity's legacy lives again." As the destroyer powered up its engines, Miller couldn't help but smile. The Dominion thought they had copied humanity's greatest weapons. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The human destroyer Legacy moved silently through space, its systems humming with power that hadn't been used in 20,000 years. On the bridge, Miller watched the tactical display where hundreds of red dots marked the approaching Dominion fleet. "Their first wave is in range," Lisa reported from her station, detecting standard Dominion energy signatures. Admiral Parker stood beside Miller, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. "Are you sure about this? One ship against their entire fleet?" Before Miller could answer, the ship's eye spoke. Its voice was calm and clear, with a hint of something that sounded almost like anticipation. "Maximum effectiveness requires demonstration of true capabilities. Recommend engaging multiple targets simultaneously." The bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. They had trained with the AI for only 20 hours, but already they had learned to trust its guidance. "Multiple targets it is," Miller said. "Weapons status." Tom's hands moved across his console with practiced ease, as if he'd been operating human technology all his life. "All systems ready. The AI has uploaded firing solutions that—" "Sir, these trajectories don't make any sense." "Trust it," Miller ordered. "Execute on my mark." The Dominion fleet approached in perfect attack formation. Their black ships looked like shadows against the stars, their weapons charging with familiar green energy. "They're firing," Lisa announced. The Legacy's guy spoke again, observing Dominion weapon signatures, analyzing copy technology. "Countermeasures engage." Brilliant green beams from the Dominion ships streaked toward the Legacy. But instead of impacting shields, they simply vanished. "What just happened?" Parker demanded. The AI explained. "Their weapons operate on principles they don't understand. Simple temporal phase shift renders them harmless. Preparing demonstration of proper weapon usage." Miller nodded. "Fire." The Legacy came alive. What had appeared to be simple weapon ports began to glow with a light that seemed to bend reality itself. The ship fired, but not with beams or projectiles. Instead, space itself appeared to ripple. When the ripples reached the Dominion ships, their shields didn't just fail, they ceased to exist. The vessels themselves began to break apart, but not from explosion or damage. They simply separated into their component pieces, as if time itself was running backward on their assembly. "By the stars," Parker whispered. The AI's voice held a note of satisfaction. "Proper application of quantum principles allows for manipulation of fundamental forces. The Dominion copy our energy weapons, but never understood the science behind them." More Dominion ships approached, adjusting their tactics. They fired from multiple angles, their weapons at full power. Again, their attacks simply disappeared before reaching the Legacy. "They're trying to adapt," Lisa reported, studying her readings. "But the AI says they're only making it worse. Their attempts to strengthen their copy technology are creating vulnerabilities." The Legacy fired again. This time, dozens of Dominion ships found themselves pulled together, their hulls merging and twisting as space itself rejected their presence. "Message from the Dominion flagship," Tom announced. They're requesting parley." Miller looked at Admiral Parker, who nodded. "Put them through." The main screen showed a Dominion commander, his alien features twisted with what might have been fear. "What are you? How is this possible?" Miller stepped forward. "We are the inheritors of humanity's legacy. The technology you stole and copied, you never understood its true purpose." The AI added its own message, broadcasting on all frequencies. Human technology was not designed for simple destruction. It was created to protect, to preserve, to understand the very fabric of reality. Your crude copies are an insult to their sacrifice. As if to emphasize the point, another wave of Dominion ships tried to attack from behind. The Legacy didn't even need to turn. Space itself seemed to fold, and the attacking ships found themselves facing their own fleet. "Last chance," Miller announced to the Dominion commander. "Surrender and learn, or continue fighting and face the consequences." The Dominion fleet hung motionless for several long moments. Then, one by one, their weapons powered down. Admiral Parker turned to Miller, his eyes wide with wonder. "If one ship can do this, what can the entire fleet do?" Miller smiled as he watched more human ships awakening in the distance, their systems coming online as their AIs activated. "I think we're about to find out." 2 weeks after the Legacy's first battle, Miller stood on the bridge of the human flagship Defiant. Around him, 50 ancient vessels moved in perfect formation, each one now crewed by Alliance personnel who had been trained by the ship's eyes. Dominion forces detected in the Centauri sector, Tom reported from his new station on the flagship. "They're massing for a major offensive." Admiral Parker, who had taken command of the combined fleet, nodded grimly. "How many ships?" "Over 2,000, sir. They've gathered everything they have left." The Defiance guy spoke, its voice echoing through the bridge. "Tactical analysis complete. The Dominion has modified their copy technology. They believe they have found countermeasures to our systems." Miller watched the tactical display as the massive Dominion armada approached. Their ships had been redesigned, with new weapon systems cobbled together from their understanding of captured human technology. "They still don't understand," Lisa said from her engineering station. "The AI says they're just making things worse by mixing technologies they don't comprehend." Parker turned to Miller. "Time to show them what the full fleet can do." All ships, battle formation. The human vessels moved with impossible grace, their true forms now fully revealed. Gone were the primitive disguises. Each ship now shimmered with energy that bent light itself around their hulls. "Sir," Tom called out, "the Defiance AI is accessing some kind of archived battle plan. It says this is exactly what humanity predicted would happen." Miller moved to Tom's station, reading the displayed text with growing amazement. They knew. The humans knew that whoever found their technology would try to copy it, would gather their forces for one final battle. And they prepared for it. The AI finished. Initiating Synchronized Defense Protocol Alpha. All ships engage quantum link. Energy rippled between the human vessels, connecting them in ways that defied normal space and time. The Alliance crews watched in awe as their ships began moving in perfect synchronization, as if they were all part of one vast organism. The Dominion fleet opened fire, unleashing every weapon they had. Copied human technology mixed with their own designs in a desperate attempt to overcome the originals. But something incredible happened. Instead of dodging or blocking the attacks, the human fleet absorbed them. Every energy beam, every projectile, every attempt at destruction was caught in a web of light that connected all 50 ships. "Energy absorption at maximum," Lisa reported excitedly. "The AI says we're ready for the counterstrike." Admiral Parker gave the order. All ships, return fire. The human fleet released the absorbed energy, but not as a weapon. Instead, waves of corrective force washed over the Dominion ships. Wherever they touched, the stolen and misused technology began to deactivate, returning to its base components. "My God," Parker whispered, "they're not destroying them. They're fixing them." The AI's voice held a note of pride. Humans understood that true power lies not in destruction, but in restoration. The fleet's primary directive was never to win wars, but to prevent them. Ship after ship in the Dominion fleet went dark, their copied technology rendered useless by the original designs. Some tried to flee, but space itself seemed to work against them, their engines unable to breach the quantum fields the human ships had created. Within an hour, it was over. The entire Dominion armada hung powerless in space, their weapons and engines reduced to their most basic forms. "Message from the Dominion High Command," Tom announced. "They're offering unconditional surrender." Miller looked at the tactical display, where thousands of dots representing Dominion ships now floated harmlessly in space. "They're asking for mercy, aren't they?" "Yes," Tom confirmed. "And they're asking for teachers. They want to understand the technology properly this time." Admiral Parker turned to Miller with a smile. "Well, isn't that exactly what humanity wanted? Not just to stop the fighting, but to help others learn." The AI spoke one final time. "Accessing final protocol. Beginning transmission of educational database." The humans called it Project Legacy, their gift to the future. As the fleet began broadcasting humanity's collected knowledge to both Alliance and Dominion ships, Miller finally understood. The humans hadn't built a weapon. They had created the ultimate teaching tool, one that would only reveal its secrets to those who were ready to learn. 1 month after the Dominion's surrender, Miller walked through a massive chamber deep within an asteroid that the human fleet's AI had guided them to. The walls were lined with thousands of stasis pods, each one bearing the soft glow of active power systems. "All life signs are stable," Lisa reported, checking her scanner. "They're all here, just like the AI said. Over 10,000 humans, preserved in suspended animation for 20,000 years." Admiral Parker stood before one of the pods, his hand resting on its smooth surface. "They didn't just leave us their ships. They left us their people." The flagship Defiance AI spoke through their communicators. The humans knew their technology would be found eventually, but they also knew that without proper guidance, it could be misused, as the Dominion proved. Miller watched as Alliance medical teams carefully began the revival process on the first pod. Inside, a woman in her 30s slept peacefully, unaware that 20 millennia had passed. "First pod revival sequence complete," Tom announced from his monitoring station. "Life signs are normalizing. She's waking up." The pod opened with a soft hiss. The woman's eyes fluttered open, immediately alert despite her long sleep. She looked at the people gathered around her and smiled. "I'm Dr. Emma Wright," she said, her voice clear and strong. "Did you find our message?" Miller stepped forward. "We did. Your fleet saved us from an enemy who tried to copy your technology." Emma nodded, unsurprised. "That's why we left the ships looking primitive on the surface. We knew someone would eventually find them. And we knew they'd either dismiss them as worthless or try to steal their power without understanding it." "But why?" Parker asked. "Why not just leave instructions?" "Because some lessons can't be taught through manuals," Emma explained, standing up with barely a hint of weakness. "They have to be learned through experience. The fleet wasn't just a weapon, it was a test." More pods were beginning to open. Scientists, engineers, teachers, and other experts from humanity's past emerge, each one preserved at the height of their knowledge and abilities. "The Dominion is asking to learn," Miller told Emma. "They want to understand the technology properly this time." She smiled. "Good. That's exactly what we hoped would happen. Our fleet wasn't designed to destroy civilizations, but to help them grow past their warlike phases." The AI added, "The human vessels contain only a fraction of humanity's true technological achievements. They were chosen specifically as teaching tools." Emma walked to a control panel and placed her hand on it. The chamber's walls suddenly became transparent, revealing dozens more chambers beyond, all filled with stasis pods. "We left similar facilities throughout the galaxy," she explained. each one preserved with different groups of humans, waiting to be found by civilizations ready to learn. The fleet you found was just the first key. Miller looked out at the vast array of sleeping humans. You're going to teach us everything. Share all of humanity's knowledge. No, Emma said kindly. We're going to help you discover it for yourselves. True understanding can't be given. It has to be earned. That's why the fleet's AI didn't just hand you its power. It taught you how to use it properly. Admiral Parker laughed softly. When we first found those ships, everyone thought they were worthless relics. Now we know they were the greatest gift any civilization could receive. More humans were awakening, each one ready to share their knowledge with both the Alliance and the Reformed Dominion. The war that had threatened to destroy everything had instead led to the greatest period of learning and growth in galactic history. There's one more thing, Emma said, accessing another control panel. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, showing hundreds of points of light. These are other facilities like this one, other fleets waiting to be found. As you learn and grow, you'll help us find them, and help teach others in turn. Miller looked at the map in awe, finally understanding the full scope of humanity's plan. They hadn't just created a way to end one war. They had designed a way to guide the entire galaxy toward peace and understanding. The ancient fleet that everyone had laughed at had turned out to be exactly what humanity intended. Not a weapon of war, but a beacon of hope, guiding future civilizations toward a brighter tomorrow.